Welcome back to the deep dive. We are doing something a little different today.
Yeah, bit of a change of pace.
Usually when we look at a topic, we're looking at the what is the news, what is the breakthrough, what's the new science.
Right.
But today we are strictly looking at the how. Specifically, how you actually keep a mission-driven organization alive.
It's the mechanics of benevolence, really.
That is a great way to put it. But you and I read through this and we realized this is not just a list of job descriptions. It's an engineering schematic.
Exactly.
Right. We're here to talk about the bottom of the iceberg, the stuff that's underwater. What happens when the lights go out? Who makes sure the grants are compliant?
Who deals with the emotional fallout when a student wants to quit?
Yes. This document breaks down the specific anatomy of that support system that makes the volunteering possible.
It creates a safety net.
Yeah.
And what struck me most about this document is how specialized that safety net has become. It's not just everyone helps out. It's a very specific division of labor.
Designed to prevent burnout and ensure quality.
Right.
So let's pop the hood.
If you look at the duties listed, the program specialist is the interface. They are like the skin of the organization.
The skin, I like that.
They're the first point of contact for the general questions, sure, like where are the markers or my badge isn't working. But look closer at the student retention section.
I saw that. It says they're responsible for phone calls, emails, and in-person conversations to keep students engaged. That shifts the role from administrative to relational. They aren't just logging hours. They're the ones noticing when a chair is empty.
And that is so critical. In adult education, attrition is the enemy. Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
A student's car breaks down, their shift changes, they get discouraged. The program specialist is the designated noticer.
The noticer.
They're the ones tasked with reaching out and saying, hey, we noticed you weren't here. Is everything okay? That isn't just logistics. That is emotional labor.
There is one specific duty listed for the program specialist that really stopped me in my tracks. It's a single bullet point.
I think I know which one.
Assist with citizenship mock interviews.
Yes. That is a heavy lift.
It's huge. We aren't talking about helping someone learn to order coffee. We are talking about simulating a high-stakes government interview that determines if someone gets to become a citizen.
Yeah, essentially an interrogation. It's intense.
That requires a level of trust and intimacy that goes way beyond admin.
It implies that the program specialist has built a real rapport with these students. You wouldn't practice your citizenship interview with a stranger.
No way.
You do it with someone who has been cheering you on for months. It shows that this role is deeply embedded in the student's journey. They are part coach, part administrator, part confidant.
But then the document throws a curveball. It introduces a variation of this role called the data lead.
Right.
It's still a program specialist, but the focus shifts entirely.
If the standard specialist is the heart, the data lead is the brain, or maybe the central nervous system.
I like that. So their primary focus is attendance and volunteer records.
Across all locations.
So why separate that? Why not just have everyone do their own data?
Because data in the nonprofit world equals survival. The text mentions they support compliance. That is a loaded word.
Usually means grants, right?
Yeah, exactly. It refers to government grants or large donor requirements. If you say you serve 500 students, you need the spreadsheet to prove it, or the money vanishes. The data lead is the guardian of that proof.
So they're protecting the organization's actual existence.
Precisely. And notice how they contribute to retention. The other specialist does it by calling you up. The data lead does it behind the scenes.
By looking for patterns.
Yes. Why does attendance drop on Thursdays? Why is the outreach center in this specific neighborhood losing volunteers? They diagnose the systemic issues so the rest of the team can go and fix them.
It's a fascinating contrast. One role works with the individual human, the other works with the aggregate data. But they're peers.
And you can both. You can have all the empathy in the world, but if you lose your funding because your records are a mess, the whole program whizzes.
Okay, so let's move to the central hub. We have the boots on the ground, but someone has to keep the office running. The administrative coordinator.
Okay.
This feels like the classic office manager role, but the LCFBC document gives them some very specific powers.
They are the traffic controller.
Yeah.
The document lists the standard stuff sharing info on closures, special events, outreach support. But the key phrase here is that they schedule meetings on behalf of other staff.
I underline that too. It sounds so small, but if you've ever worked in a busy office, you know that scheduling is where productivity goes to die.
It's a huge efficiency play. I mean, if you have 5 educators trying to coordinate their own calendars with volunteers and partners, it's just chaos.
Right.
By centralizing that with the admin coordinator, you free up the educators to actually educate. It's all about removing friction.
They also coordinate printing and supplies. Now, didn't the program specialist do supplies? I feel like we saw that.
The distinction is subtle but really important. The program specialist assists, so probably meaning they hand them out or notice when a box is empty. The admin coordinator coordinates, meaning they order, they manage the inventory, they hold the budget. One handles the immediate need, the other handles the whole supply chain.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, here's where the terminology gets a little tricky, and I want to make sure we parse this correctly for you, the listeners. We have an adult education specialist. How is this different from the program specialist we just talked about?
Okay, think of the program specialist as logistics and student services. Think of the adult education specialist as academics and classroom culture.
Okay, so one is the front office, one is the classroom.
Roughly, yes.
Yeah.
The adult education specialist is deeply involved in the pedagogy, the method of teaching. The document lists workforce readiness workshops under their purview.
Which is a big step up from basic literacy. That's how do I get a job? How do I write a resume?
It is functional literacy. And the document uses this phrase. They collaborate to maintain a supportive and inclusive learning environment. That is their core mandate.
Let's unpack that. Inclusive learning environment. It sounds a little like corporate buzzwords. What does it actually mean in a literacy center?
Well, imagine you're 40 years old, you have a job, maybe you have kids, but you can't read well. Walking into a classroom is terrifying.
It's deeply shameful for many people.
It is. So the adult education specialist is responsible for ensuring that environment doesn't feel like the school system that failed them 20 years ago. In fact, the education itself is actually consumable by the student.
I am seeing a theme here. Every single role seems to be a safety net for a specific type of failure point.
Oh, that's a perfect way to frame it.
The program specialist prevents dropouts. The data lead prevents compliance failure. The admin coordinator prevents logistical chaos.
And the adult ed specialist prevents academic discouragement. It's a system of redundancies.
So let's look at the people steering the ship, the directors. We have a program director. Based on this document, this person seems to be the one losing sleep over the volunteers.
The program director is the architect of the volunteer workforce. And in a nonprofit like this, the volunteers are the engine.
The whole thing.
So the director handles the entire life cycle: onboarding, training, support.
And the scheduling puzzle. The text mentions coordinating volunteer schedules when substitutes are available. That sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, it's a logic puzzle that never ends. Dave is sick. Can Sarah cover? No, Sarah works Tuesdays.
Right. But beyond the schedule, look at the focus on educational quality. They aren't just filling slots with bodies. They're facilitating monthly meetings and overseeing curriculum development. They are the ones asking, is our teaching actually working?
They're quality control.
Yeah.
They gather feedback from students and volunteers. They're the loop closers. If a curriculum isn't landing, the program director needs to know about it.
There is also a note about expansion. They work with outreach coordinators to secure new locations. But I noticed a check and balance here. The program director can do the legwork, but the executive director has final approval.
That's just standard risk management. Signing a lease or a memorandum of understanding with the partner, that creates legal liability. You want the top executive to be the one signing on the dotted line.
Makes sense.
But the program director is the scout. They're out there finding the library or the community center that needs a literacy class.
Speaking of being out there, let's talk about the adult education coordinator. We just discussed the adult education specialist. Why are the titles so similar? It's a bit confusing.
It can be. But think of the specialist as internal focus on the classroom and the student sitting in it.
Okay.
Think of the coordinator as external focused on the ecosystem around the organization.
The ecosystem.
The document says the coordinator engages the broader community to build partnerships. And it uses a very specific term: wraparound services.
I love that term, wraparound services. They wrap those services around the student.
Exactly. So when a student says, I can't come to class, I'm being evicted, the coordinator doesn't just say, okay, bye. They say, we have a partner for that. Here is the contact at the housing authority.
That is so powerful. It acknowledges that you can't learn if you're in crisis.
It validates the student's whole life.
So we've dissected all the roles. We have this very specific machine.
Despite all this hyper-specialization we just described, there's an explicit all-hands-on-deck philosophy,
The text says all program staff share responsibility for data entry.
which is fascinating.